Thank you, Mary. And thank you, Frank and Joe and everyone so far who's stepped up to say something. Ani, I want to present these roses to you um, as a token of our appreciation. There's very few people that can step in and sufficiently fill in for a sibling, and you did it. You did it, and we appreciate and love you for that.
Thank you. I love Dennis. He was awesome. Thank you.
So again, thank you everyone for being here to help us honor Dennis in this way. As a eulogist, I recognize that I am speaking for all of us, but each of us has memories of the man known as Dennis Martin Clark. Dennis, Denny, DC, Uncle Dennis, Coach Clark, sweetheart, big guy, and the man in apartment 301. Rather than focus on my memories and stories, I want to reflect on the qualities and characters that made Dennis the person we all knew and loved. In their book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, Rediscovering the Archetypes of Mature Masculine, Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette describe a man with healthy king.
Dad, you just muted yourself.
I should be unmuted.
You're good. We can hear you.
Marty,
Okay.
if you would go back, you just described the words of a king.
Okay, yeah, I'll go back. Thank you, Joe. In their book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, Rediscovering the Archetypes of the Mature Masculine, Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette describe a man with a healthy king energy. I mention this because I believe it captures what we all recognized in Dennis. I paraphrase, the man with the healthy king energy manifests the capacity to care for others deeply and genuinely. He recognizes and beholds them for the full person they are. He is a centered participant in creating a more just, calm, and creative world. He has a spirituality and knows the truth of the central commandment around which all of human life seems to be based. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul and all thy might, and thy neighbor as thyself. Dennis Martin Clark was a man of faith and spirituality. Like all of us, he was also a flawed person. At the core of his spirituality was the practice of being both self and other facing. That is to say, he attended to the innate goodness and needs of others while squarely facing his own shadow. Denny had high personal standards. He was self-critical and at some level viewed himself as a failure. When cleaning his apartment with my brothers Joe and Charlie, I came across a notebook with some of his writings. I think capture his mind and heart. I share a few of them with you now. Only by eliminating my anger, hostility, negativity, and madness will I connect with my opportunities. Possibility and excitement reside in the unknown. I fear the unknown. The only thing I can do alone is feel. Everyone wants to be loved and accepted. I will use my skills to help others and change the world. DC, as some of them called him, avoided materialistic entanglements that were well within his reach. For nearly 20 years, he lived in a small apartment complex in a declining part of Los Angeles. Apartment 301 was a simple and outdated space that would have easily passed for a sitcom bachelor pad. The man in apartment 301 did not need many things and did not hide behind the things he had. He drove old and inexpensive cars that doubled as his office as he practiced as a home health physical therapist. As his vocation, Dennis chose the act of caring over the art of acting. Recently, I received a letter from one of his physical therapy colleagues. She wrote, Dennis was one of the kindest, most caring people I have ever met. He cared deeply for his patients and his work. He would do anything to help his patients get what they need. Dennis was thoughtful, understanding, generous, and wonderful. The world has lost a very special person. A very special person indeed. At the age of 24, the big guy was looking forward to becoming a Catholic priest when our father died. Denny made a selfish decision to leave the seminary and come home and help support our mom. Around the house, he expressed his love in notable and playful ways. He tickled me and Charlie until we could no longer breathe. He made Brian cry by reading apocalyptic passages out of the book of Revelations. He closely followed and supported Joe's soccer career through high school, college, as a professional player, and then as a coach. He used his earnings as a teacher to send Mary to Narings Hall High School. True to his spirit, he faced his shadow as reflected in his writings. Possibility and excitement reside in the unknown, and I fear the unknown, and moved to LA to pursue an acting career. But Uncle Dennis was more focused on the needs of others than his own acting career. Somehow, he seemed to know that the man who becomes obsessed with succeeding has already failed. He valued others over success. Dennis routinely declined acting auditions because he had patients to visit. He befriended a single mother with 2 daughters who could not afford to send them to a Catholic high school.